All right, I just started my YouTube stream and now I am starting my Instagram one. So just bear with me. Post. There we go. All right, cool. Gotta tune up my guitar. What's up, guys? Just starting up the stream. I'm gonna restart this Instagram stream. Hey guys, sorry for whoever's watching here already on YouTube. Oh, weird. Hopefully this is running. Sorry for the short delay here. Instagram decided not to push out a notification to people, so now I restart. If you're here, by the way, leave a comment. I'd love to see. And ask, if you're on YouTube here, go ahead and ask your technique-related questions, and I will answer to the best of my ability. Okay, actually first time taking out this guitar in a couple days. I've been playing on a Yamaha just to kind of recoup. Hi Pedro, good to see you guys. Those on YouTube, I see you joining, more of you joining, more joining on Instagram here. Hope you guys are all doing well. Just my normal short version technique class here for my Monday thing. So if you guys have any technique related questions, ask and we'll make an exercise out of it. But you know, if you don't, then I'll just play music. Because I'm having fun doing that, honestly. Normally what I do on Mondays is a little short version of a technique class, and I do a structured technique class on Thursdays. I do a structured technique on Thursdays where I go over a specific subject. Like I'll do scales and slurs, or we'll talk about performance anxiety and slurs, or anything guitar related, and making subjects out of it and creating weekly content like that. But Monday, I'm here just to take technique questions or discuss technical things. And I'm on Instagram and also on YouTube. If you click the link in my bio, you can see my YouTube stream. So what's up, Jake, Roberto, Rick, Mick? Good to see you guys. How you doing, man? Feels so good to play some quality guitar in a nice practice area again. Today I was kind of out watching the eclipse, which was disappointing in my area. It was pretty cloudy and I didn't get the glasses, so I didn't look up at it. So I was just hoping to see darkness, and it didn't really happen. Did any of you guys get a cool viewing of the eclipse? Curious where you guys are at. What were you wondering, Jake? I just saw your question there. I'll wait for you to type. All right, my tone's not bad for not playing guitar for a couple days. Well, I've been playing guitar, just not this guitar. I've just been kind of playing around, writing music and stuff. Not really paying attention to tone. But yeah, this isn't too bad. was good. Angel, I got 3rd place, which I was pretty happy with because I didn't play my best. Thank you for asking. But it was really nice. I saw a lot of friends there. A lot of really good times. That's the advantage of going to guitar competitions, despite really how you feel about it. It's just like about how you feel about competing. It's so nice to see friends and people that are like so interested in the same thing that you are. You know, it's a bunch of classical guitar nerds there basically. So, and at this one, the Wilson Center, it's classical, fingerstyle, jazz, and rock and blues. It's pretty insane. There's a lot of guitarists there of different styles, so it's like it's a bunch of people that just love guitar. So it's a lot of fun. And if you go to a few competitions, it's kind of like the same, well, not always exactly the same, but it's a lot of the same people each time. So you see them there and you make friends, and everyone's had like crazy experiences, and it's just a good time. Hey, Alex, thank you. I very much appreciate it. It's interesting that you call it a contest. My old professor used to always call it a contest too. I was like, it's kind of funny. He would always not say competition. He was just like, oh yeah, well this is when this contest is and this contest. But no one else calls it that, I feel like. Contest, you know what? Would you agree that it sounds a little bit less competitive when you say contest instead of competition? That's the connotation I get from it. Anyone have technique-related questions? What's up, Amber? What's up, Amber? If you guys have technique-related questions, go ahead and ask, and we'll go over a specific technical thing. You mean a contest? Is that what you mean? Something like you do at a birthday party? Contest, yeah, like who can hold their breath underwater the longest? Oh, Alex asking the real questions. Baroque ornamentation. Oh man. Well, I guess I can speak a little bit on that subject. Not really from an area of expertise, just from what I've gathered from people that have expertise. More specifically, Baroque ornamentation on the guitar. It's a tricky subject because there's people like, for instance, Jason Vio, who used to believe one thing and now he says he believes something else. Like sometimes people say that, you know, if you're playing Baroque ornamentation and you choose to do cross string drills in a piece, you should never do that same thing in a normal trill, the same string trill. And I heard him say that he used to believe that and now he mixes it. It just has to sound right. But on that subject, Stanley Yates, if you look up that name, Stanley and then Yates is Y-A-T-E-S. If you search that and then Baroque ornamentation, I think he has it on his website. He has a really great article. He goes over all the different ornamentation signs and what that means and how to execute it on the guitar. And it's a really great all-around article. But for me, when deciding Baroque ornamentation, I guess like if it doesn't serve the purpose of like, if it doesn't sound good or it doesn't really make it sound like a harpsichord, if it's like for Scarlatti, which is why I do so much. I'll get to you guys in a second, one second, but it's gotta like, if it's Scarlatti, it's gotta serve the purpose of sounding like a harpsichord to me. Like I don't really like doing, I do it here, but to me this is a clear enough area that it sounds almost the same volume, like. So that is why I do that. But I could go, oh, that'd be interesting. No way. Anyways, okay, so Amber, why do you have one long sleeve? Is that technique thing? Yeah, no, you know, when you're performing, it's normally with a long sleeve shirt, so you want to like replicate that as much as possible. Not necessarily for that reason though. Like, it's just with your arm sliding up and down on the guitar to change colors and be musical. It's a lot more difficult. It's sticky. You know, your arm doesn't really want to slide up a French polished guitar. So it also protects the guitar. If I practice the number of hours I do without a long sleeve shirt on or a sleeve when I'm not wearing a long sleeve shirt, during the winter I'm always wearing a long sleeve shirt, so I don't think about that. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, if I practiced as many hours as I did, I would be wearing into the finish and my arm would probably have splinters in it. That would be really interesting though. I know some people that don't practice with a sleeve on and their guitars have all marks all over this. They're like worn down. But you can get someone to re-French polish that area. It's kind of funny. Thank you so much, Wonderland. I appreciate that. Thank you. How are you doing any contests soon? Let's see. Alex. Yeah, Manny. Yo, Manny. You have your guitar out or are you going to sleep? All right. Do I have any tips for slurs? All right. Good question. Capriccio au rabais. You have all those. Yeah. You got a lot of slurs. Yeah, here's a good one for Capriccio au rabais. Doing things like this. And I go over slur exercises all the time, but let me tell you one specifically for this. There is a really good thing that you should always keep in mind when you're practicing slurs. I don't think you're here anymore, the person who asked the question. But I'll keep on going anyways. Oh no, you are. Okay, so there's something really important to keep in mind is that when you're doing a slur, it should never rhythmically change things. Like, if you're just doing a pull-off, say your goal is to go, then it shouldn't be like, or if the goal is to have it sound like, except smoother. So I would encourage you to do slur practice where you pluck every note first. And then say this was your exercise, what you're doing, you're slurring this. Then make sure you go, and then just do one of the slurs. Then switch back to articulating everyone like this. Then add in both. That way, when you're doing these slurs, it's not just like you're aggressively pulling off your string to get to just get the sound of a slur. It needs to still be rhythmic. So you can also go 4, 3, 2, 1, then pluck 4. That's harder on the second string. Ooh, you want to go over some cross string trill exercises, Wonderland, next? If you'll stick around, I'll do some exercises with you because I could use some help with that as well. Although I think in this competition I happened to get them all, which I'm trying to remember. You know, it's hard to replay it all in your head. I wish they would take video of it for you. But I can go over that. So yes, other slur exercises. This is a really good one to go 2, 1, 3, or sorry, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. And then do that on every string. So, and make sure you're not going like I was saying. Like, don't be inconsistent with the rhythm. Make sure it sounds just like. So again. 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1. And try to actually build the speed of this. Don't just do it so slowly. Some coordination exercises. Hey, Emma. remember, I actually have some really good friends in San Francisco that would teach you. Her name's Veronica, actually. She just moved there. She's a very good guitar player. And she's like looking for students too, so you ought to consider it. I bet she would give you a good deal. She just moved there to do her master's degree at the San Francisco Conservatory. So she lives like near there, I assume. But I also teach on Skype. Anyways, okay, I saw your questions, by the way, Gajiel Valenzuela. If you stick around, I will answer that. He says he asked for some coordination exercise. By the way, YouTube, I see you here. A few people watching. Let me know if you guys have any technique-related questions. I will see your comments. I see Pedro's here. Okay, so yeah, slower exercises. Look through the Carl Lavaro books. I think it's book, I always forget. I think book 3 is on shifting and 4 is left hand. But if I got that reversed, you'll notice right away. But there's tons of great slower exercises. Another good one is 4, 3, 4. So you go any fret, doesn't really matter. Let's just go to the first fret, 4, 3, 2, 1 here. And let's do 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 1. So the next string. Now we're on third string, 4, 3, I'll slow down, 4, 3, 4, 1. Then next string, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 1, 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 4, 1, 4, 3, 4, 2. Up another string. Up another string. So, great exercise. And you do the same thing with hammer on. So 1, 1, 4, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, or 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 2. I don't really remember the order here. You make up your own. But another popular one is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you alternate each string. So we're on the 5th fret. We go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you only pluck once per string. And then start here, and we go 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2. Then we go 3, 4, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. Really nice to do without right hand too. So now let's do that again. But you can also pluck once per string. Then let's do 2, 4, 2. Ready? And 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2. And the goal here is to not be doing this with your hand, using your wrist and weight of your arm. You shouldn't be doing that. You should be making the movement come from the fingers. Because if it doesn't come from the fingers, then you'll never be fast at it, because your hand will have to move like this, like crazy motions to get fast slurs. So you gotta make sure the fingers look like this, right? No crazy wrist bending and stuff. 1, 4, 1, 4, 3. Let's do 1, 4, 1 here. All right, Alex. Last one, 1, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. And I like to say a little bit something about this every time I do one of these technique classes, but make sure you practice musically. I can't say it enough. When you're doing this, and although I was just in the zone there talking and trying to drink coffee and play at the same time, when I'm doing these exercises, I'm trying to think musically. So when you're doing 1, 3, 1, maybe practice some sort of musical effect as well. So like start really quiet and get loud when you get up to here, and then when you get back down to the bottom string, be quiet. So crescendo, decrescendo. So something like this. So get really quiet. Loud, starting to get quieter. Very quiet. Such an important thing to do. So if we don't practice that way, we never play that way when we play our music, because we're just unfamiliar. It's safer feeling if you never practice musically. It's safer feeling to always practice unmusically. Sorry. Have future classical guitar in USA? I am in the USA. I'm not sure what you're saying, Violet. But yes, dynamics, Alex. Absolutely. Such an important thing to practice, and not just dynamics, but other rhythmic things, and also tone colors. So like, and maybe even as you get faster. So like, it'll actually make you play a lot more relaxed. Because having to move your arm like this keeps your shoulders relaxed. If when you're playing you have to be constantly moving your right hand, your shoulder has to stay relaxed, otherwise you're going to move like this and you're going to notice it. So you can go brightest and then warmest. Wenderlin, would you like me to go over cross string trills, just some exercises for it, or ways to work on it? And if you say yeah, then if you guys are interested in some cross string trill practice, then I can talk about, I can try improving my cross string trill of a different type, because I do one type. I do AMIP cross string trills, like tremolo. But the most popular way is AIMP, and I'm not so good at it. I can do it a couple times. Yeah, no problem, Casa Jimas. I did a pretty elaborate response to that one, I suppose, but I needed to practice my slurs, so it helped. What's up, Austin? Sure, I can talk about that. So right here I'm doing AIMP. I can do it really well once, but I can't do cross string extended trills very well. But I can do them well AMIP. That's just because I've practiced it a lot. The way to do it is to pick something easy. So like open E and then fourth fret on the second string. That way you're not having to do a stretch the whole time. And whatever combination you do, I'm just going to say note 1 and note 2. That way I'm not saying A, M, or whatever. But most people go A, I, M, P. Okay, so A, I, M, P. I would recommend doing that. But I do A, M, I, P. But it makes it really awkward, especially if you're just starting cross string trills. You have a weird string crossing where your M is on the second, your I is on the first. But if it feels more natural to you, do it. You just have to, I think you might have to practice twice as hard to get that one good. It's worth it to me in the end because it's just like tremolo. Maybe someday I'll have a better opinion on it. Anyways, so what we're going to do is we're going to just go AM or AI if that's the way you're doing it. But we're just going to go fast. So here's the thing. Everyone watching this, hopefully you're still there, Wendelin. Everyone watching this can do this. Going ba-da just once. Everyone can do it. So easy to do it just once. But it's important, every time make it the same distance between the two notes. Great, glad you're still there. Every time, it can't be like da-da, and then da-da, and then da-da. It's gotta be ba-da, ba-da. It doesn't matter how much space you take in between, ba-da. See, always that. Okay, then you want to prepare your third finger that you're going to use here. So the one that would go da da da, that third note, you're going to prepare it. So right after you do the ba-da, you're going to set your finger down as if you're going to go ba-ga-da, ba-ga-da. So I'm setting my I finger down. In this case, if you're doing it the other way, you'd be setting your M finger down. A, I, M, and you'd be going and planting your M on the E. So every time the same rhythm, da-da, da-da. It can't be like this. It has to be. Everyone can do this too, that's the thing. It doesn't get hard till later. But if you're not doing this, this is the problem. This is the problem with your cross-string trills if you're not already being able to do this. If there's any sort of difference, then you're gonna have issues. So make sure you focus on this. I'm very, very sure that you will be able to do this. Sorry, in Spain people think nobody in USA plays guitar, you know. So tell me, Violet, where are the... There's so much classical guitar in the States, and actually I think there's very little in Spain as far as classical guitar programs go, because funding is mostly in Germany and United States and other parts of Europe. Where are the guitar programs in Spain? I'm curious, because I would be very interested in studying there. I mean, there's Alicante, I know that, and there's a couple others, but I always hear that Spain has hardly any classical guitar like facilitation. Anyways, so third note, you're planting. Once you feel that it's planting just the same speed that your second finger is playing, you go ahead and pluck it. So it's very important here. You can take as much time as you want between it, but it has to sound like this every time. Ba-da-da, da-da-da. So eventually you might be able to go. And then once you're confident doing this, you plant your thumb. So no matter which method you use, AIMP or AMIP, your thumb plants this one. So you go AIMP and you set your P down like this, right? So the goal of this is just keep on adding one finger at a time, so you get a very consistent sound when you're doing these. But there's also other types of trills, but anyways, we're adding one finger at a time, and once you have your thumb planted, it's going to sound like this. Or you hear quickly this note and then it disappears because your thumb's planting. Notice my thumb is planting, but it's not playing the last. It's not playing the last. So it's got to just plant right now. And it's got to plant at the same speed the other fingers are playing. So ba-da-da, and then sets down. What's up? Rolo Figo from Ecuador? Cool. Gotcha, Wonderland. Okay, I'll get to that. So we're all the way to now plucking your actual thumb. And now this is the main thing to get, because the extended cross-string trills can come later. I know Wonderland's at a different level here because I've already even heard you play some good cross-string trills just once. But this is the first step for those of you that are just learning them. It's to be able to do it once. Or maybe I have them everywhere in my pieces. Anyways, your goal is to be able to just do it once. That's a really hard area to do it. Now, to add on more, you do the same process. Wonderland, this is great. If you can really do this, or sorry, every single time, the exact same rhythm. What you start doing is adding in, you do this, and plant your A. So after you get through that one cross string trill, plant your A again, like at the same speed as before. So hopefully you can see that. And then pluck the A. So ba da 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 da, 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you play those 5 notes and you plant your M finger or your I if you do A, I, M, P. So mine's gonna sound ba da 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 da. It's very tough. This one's hard for me, which means I need to practice more. Anyways, that's a weak spot. So now I'm going to go A-M-I-P-A-M or A-I-M-P-A-I. And then I'm going to plant my 3rd finger again. So da 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 and plant. It's got to be the same rhythmically every time. I'm only doing a mediocre job at that right now. Then you play it. So that's really the way you do it. That's how I did it, and it worked out. I finally, after maybe 6 months of doing this all the time, I could get pretty good extended cross string drills. I do them, but oftentimes in performances, when I was like just starting doing cross string drills, they would never come out. I would always make a mistake, and it's a really disappointing thing because it looks like you're showing off when you do extended cross string drills and you mess up. It looks like you're like, oh, he's trying to show off, and then he failed. And as David Russell likes to say, it took me 6 months, I'd say, to be able to like actually perform it, and even still, it's very hard. I think anyone that is watching right now would agree that it's like still something you gotta be really warmed up for, and it's like it can go wrong. There's a lot to it. It's not just a technical thing like getting tremolo perfectly, where it's this, well, tremolo is the same way as this actually, but it's not like just playing a scale. It's the need to like execute it like they would on the harpsichord, starting slow and speeding up, and actually Jason Vio talks about how you should start it loud and get quieter. It's really hard to execute, especially when you're in the middle of other things. That's not extended, but I'm just talking about cross-string trills in general. So that one is tough because you have to go. So I have to move my thumb right afterwards. A-M-I-P thumb. So this is like beat 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This is beat 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1. That's not quite right, but yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. Anyways, so doing this thing where you add one little plant at a time is really effective. Oh, and then, oh, 1 second, I will get back to you, Violet Wenderland. Thank you, that's sweet. I respect your playing a lot, so that means a lot to me. Thanks. So, getting back to this, to help you specifically, Gwendolyn, you get my point, I understand, of adding one after another. But the thought process isn't so, like, okay, plus one more. It's kind of like if we were going... That's not what we're trying to do here. What we're trying to do is think of it as one. Think of it as one thing. So if we're going... You're trying to feel this as not add 2, add 3, add 4, add 5. You don't want to do that. You want to just feel it, but just keep memory of what finger you're stopping on at the time. And try to stay really relaxed. That's the tricky part. And then, so now I'm going to go down to my thumb. And then once you have that, you're basically there. Once you can do it twice, you can do it a million times. But that's what you're going for. Try to feel that, that length, feeling it as one. So that is one motion. That is like as if you were going, right? It's got to feel like you're going like this, right? It's just one movement. So then your goal is to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, take a break. And try to nail it every time. And relax in between and do it every time, relax. And then if you can do it relaxed every time, then you can do this another time. And then I would say after that, try to add things. I don't know, maybe a random freaking chord, like... That's so hard, but that's the kind of goal of this. This is how I got through, like, getting cross-string trills more consistent. You gotta feel it as one, and then once you feel it as one, and then you can do the 2 groupings. Then maybe 3. Start adding in these bass notes. Because that's what's going to happen when you have something like, or like I said here. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. It's pretty difficult to jump with your thumb like that, so it's something you gotta practice. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. There, I cheat instead of going. That'd be interesting. I haven't ever tried that. Way to make it harder. No thanks. When it's down in first position, it sounds harpsichord like this one. play when you're tense. Okay, Violet, back to you here. Oh, sorry, Violet. I did see your message. I was getting back to that. Violet, the most popular teachers. It's hard. There's not one. Well, now Judakyle Paroy is here. He's going to become one of the most popular, I think. But I'd say the most popular are Bruce Holtzman, Adam Holtzman, Elliot Fisk, Bill Cannengeiser, Scott Tennant. There's a lot. You can send me a message and I'll give you a lot of recommendations. But just because teachers are popular don't necessarily mean they're good. But it's more about like what school you're at and the studio and a lot of that kind of stuff. So, yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to end this technique class. If you guys are interested in this and this is something you enjoy, check out the link in my bio or what I have in my little, it's in my bio. But you can also swipe up in my story that I have going on right now to sign up for my class on Thursdays. It only costs $1 to sign up in just a few days. I keep on saying this, but I'm really going to do this soon. I'm going to change it to $5. But everyone that signed up for $1 will be able to continue paying $1 a month. So that's my technique class. I do that Thursdays. There's specific subjects. You guys kind of got a glimpse of that today because we did go over specific subjects, but it was enjoyable and I haven't done a stream in a little while. It was nice hanging out with you. Wenderlin, I'm glad you enjoyed. Violet, send me a message or an email and I will talk to you guys later. I hope you guys have a great night. I'm going to end my YouTube stream. See you guys. And